Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. Now, today's video, the topic is, was Kawhi Leonard a much better closer with the Toronto Raptors? So that's the topic I'm going to get into in today's video. But before we get into that, I want you guys to please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Also, the Dreamerspro Max platform is finally live. It is available, guys. It is in the description below. We have the link in the description below. This is where we're going to be able to chat during we can chat live during games, so all of us can stay connected, so we can share our thoughts while games are happening. It's where we're going to be able to go have post-game live reactions, where we guys can get on a video call together for about 20-30 minutes, and I can just take questions from you guys and go over some of your raw emotions and thoughts. After games is where you're also going to be able to get exclusive content that you get nowhere else, and vote for video topics that you won't be able to get on the channel. Also, we're going to be giving monthly giveaways only for members, obviously, who sign up on the Dreamerspro Max platform. Also, where you guys can post different basketball topics and debates, and we can just go back and forth with each other on the platform. All of those things are going to be available and much more on the Dreamerspro Max platform. If you guys want to check that out, we have the link in the description below. I know some of you guys are interested, so make sure you go ahead and check that out. We have a page that describes every single thing for you guys that you're going to need to know. And also, we're going to have a video on the channel that you guys can check out, which we're also going to link there so you guys can know more about the platform. So make sure you go ahead and check that out. Anyway, let me get into this video here. So, man, I got a lot to say about my man Kawhi Leonard, and this video is going to pain me to do, but I got to do it. So, y'all know that Kawhi Leonard is my favorite basketball player, right? I've been following the guy for probably the last 5 years or so, right? I've been following the guy for the last 5 years in the NBA. Now, Kobe Bryant, the late and great Kobe Bryant, is my favorite basketball player of all time. He's the best basketball player I've ever seen play live, right? I didn't get to watch Michael Jordan live play with the Chicago Bulls when he was in his prime. I didn't see that live. If I did, I don't remember it. To be quite honest with you, I'm not going to sit up here and lie to you, but I do concede that MJ is the greatest player of all time. And although Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time, MJ was better. Like, I'm not delusional here. Michael Jordan was better. If you watch the Last Dance documentary, because it's one thing when you go online and you look at Michael Jordan highlights and you see how well he plays, but those games are not in context, you don't get it. But when you saw the Last Dance docuseries, it put those performances into context. And when you can view those games in context, it just shows his greatness. I mean, this guy, MJ, was on another level. He was on another level. And Kobe's my favorite player of all time. I have him ranked number 3 all time. Behind Jordan and Kareem. But listen, MJ, man, it's no joke. And I have LeBron number 4. So some people, where you got LeBron at? LeBron is number 4. Chill out, son. Don't come at me in the comments. LeBron is number 4. Now, before Kobe Bryant ended his career, as all Kobe fans, we were looking, who's going to be the next Kobe Bryant, right? Because I was ready to stop watching, but I'm like, I'm not going to watch basketball. Because I'm like, I got to have somebody to cheer for. I'm not a team guy. I'm a player guy. I got to have somebody to cheer for. And I was like, man, who's going to be the next Kobe? Because I wasn't seeing it I wasn't seeing it. Then there was a guy named Kawhi Leonard, right? And I really started paying to Kawhi Leonard around 2016. Right? 2016 is when I really, really, really started paying attention to the guy, because at that point, there was this kind of thing of Kobe Bryant and Kawhi Leonard and Greg Popovich. And it made me start to pay attention. Okay, so who is this Kawhi Leonard guy? And there's an audio where Kobe Bryant was talking about Kawhi Leonard when his coach at the time, Popovich, told Kobe if he could asked Kobe, can he please stay in the air of Kawhi Leonard and just kind of take him under his wings? And this happened during the 2016 All-Star game. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I want you guys to take a listen to this audio of Kobe Bryant talking about Kawhi Leonard talking about Kobe Bryant, and Greg Popovich talking about how the whole entire thing came together and the reason that he wanted that to happen. So just take a listen to that.
We talked about Kawhi a little bit, and wanted me to stay in his ear a little bit and talk to him a little bit, and I definitely will.
That's right. Remember that super secret meeting between Coach Pop and Kobe last week? Well, Kawhi heard about that conversation, and he is okay with Kobe helping him take his game to a whole nother level.
I think I learned a lot from him. He's a great player, he's a legend, very smart.
I think it's been important for Kawhi to understand what it does take to do what Michael did, what Kobe did, what Tim Duncan does, night after night after night.
So if Kobe's playing the role of Kawhi's teacher, one thing's for sure, Bryant has a student who is ready to learn.
He knows that I want to be better, and he knows I have a mindset to, win games.
I think we can learn from former players in that sense, and especially how to conduct yourself, or what it takes to compete.
Now, in that soundbite, you can clearly hear Kobe talking about Kawhi Leonard, talking about how he felt it could help him. You hear Kawhi Leonard talking about how he could learn so much from Kobe Bryant, right? This is the greatest player in the league at that time. And because not at that time, because he was older. I think at that time Kobe Bryant was 34 years old, if I'm not mistaken. He wasn't in his prime anymore, but he still was Kobe freaking Bryant, right? He was the most revered basketball player in the world at that time, and I don't even think it was. I don't even think it was close. And him and Kobe started working together, and that's when I really started to get excited. I'm like, hold on, if my favorite guy is endorsing this guy, then I need to follow this guy. I mean, is that clear? Like Kobe endorses him, I'm following him. It was that simple. And I'm sure it's the same thing for a lot of Kobe fans. I know you guys, some of you have already admitted that, so I know it's the same thing for you guys. And man, I was excited to see his 2016 playoff run. That year in the playoffs, Kawhi Leonard, let's just face it, he was sensational. The guy was, he was sensational. That season in the playoffs, if we're looking at the 2016, the 2016-2017 playoffs, the guy averaged 27.7 points per game. He shot, listen to these numbers. He shot, in 12 games, he shot 52.5% from the field. He shot 45.5% from the three. He shot, these numbers are nuts. He shot 93% from the free throw line. He got you 7.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 1.7 steals. That's what Kawhi Leonard was averaging in the 2016-2017. You want to talk about having an all-time historic run. He was on that run with the San Antonio Spurs. Then what happened? We all remember what happened. Zaza Pachulia, Jalen Rosed him. When they were playing the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Final, I think the Golden State Warriors had the #1 record. I think KD was on that team. Kevin Durant, I believe, was on that team. The Spurs were up 20 at the halftime on that team that nobody can beat, that nobody was going to beat, that this is like the greatest team of all time. Kawhi Leonard's team had that team down by 20. Never happened in the playoffs. And no stretch in the playoffs was that team down by 20. I don't even think the Cleveland Cavaliers had them down by 10. And when they got to the finals, then Zaza Pachulia injured him. He was giving him buckets. Injured him. Series is over. He was the MVP on that team. How do I know? Because the minute Kawhi Leonard went down, they lost 4 games in a row. Do you think that the Golden State Warriors would have been able to sweep the San Antonio Spurs had Kawhi Leonard played? Only a fool would think something like that, right? His playoff run was cut short. That was it, right? And the following season, he only played 9 games for the San Antonio Spurs. Things just fell apart because he felt like he was being misdiagnosed, trying to be rushed back by the Spurs medical staff, and things just went awry. Then he left, right? And then in 2018, he got his revenge with the Toronto Raptors. Now, when he went to go play with the Toronto Raptors, guys, let me tell you this. And I picked Kawhi to win the finals in the first round after they lost game 1 to the Orlando Magic. I said that this team is going to win the NBA title, and he's going to be finals MVP. We did the video on it. I witnessed one of the greatest runs I have ever witnessed in my life in basketball, watching a basketball team that ultimately went on to win the NBA title. It was sensational. Kawhi Leonard, for those Toronto Raptors, first of all, he was clutch all throughout that season. Toronto Raptors fans watching this video will tell you that season, Kawhi Leonard came up for them time and time again. Although he only played 60 games that year, he was clutch. There were games where he would get a steal. There was one game when they were down 1 point, playing against the San Antonio Spurs, got a steal on DeMar DeRozan, went down, scored the game, hit so many crunch time shots under form. He hit so many go-ahead shots for the Toronto Raptors that year. It wasn't even funny. Toronto Raptors fans will tell you that the Kawhi Leonard that season was lethal. A lethal clutch crunch time player. When he went into the playoffs, it was game over. Y'all saw what he did to the Philadelphia 76ers, won a playoff series with a with a 3-point shot, buzzer-beating shot. That's enough said. Did that. Then he went to the second round at the third conference finals, lost the first 2 games, came back, beat the Bucks 4 games in a row, and they won that game in overtime in that game 3, and he came up clutch. In the finals, he was clutch as well. They could have won that series in 5, but then the Golden State Warriors were able to fight back and win that title. And let me say, that's karma. Remember the Golden State Warriors, Zaza Pachulia, Zazad, Kawhi, then what happened to Klay? That's karma. That's just karma. You do it to one guy, it happens to you. Some people are like, you didn't win. Y'all can say the same thing about those Spurs, right? Now, some people can say, well, how do you know they would have? And I could tell you, I don't know. Are you a fortune teller? Do you know? Some people say, I don't, and I'll say the same thing, right? That's what happens. That's how things go. And he was a closer for the Toronto Raptors. That season in the playoffs, man, he's probably had the best playoff run I've seen in years. The guy averaged over 30 points per game, 49% from the field, 38% from the 3, 88% from the free throw line, 9.1 rebounds, 3.9 assists, 1.7 steals, led the playoffs in points, rebounds, and steals. Right? One of the most exciting playoff runs I've ever seen. Then he comes to the Clippers, and he hasn't been the same. Kawhi Leonard has not been closing games the way he did with the Toronto Raptors. Let's just be honest. As my favorite player, I got to say it. He's not the same. Now, not that he's not the same, meaning he lost a touch. No, he's still in his prime. He's actually having a career year this year if you go look at his numbers. But his crunch time play is what I'm focusing on here. He hasn't really been coming through for the Clippers in the clutch. He just hasn't been coming through for them. There are many games that Kawhi Leonard had just not closed. You can even look at last night's game against the Milwaukee Bucks. He didn't close that game either, right? Now, here's what's scary about what I'm saying. Given the fact that I've said that Kawhi Leonard has not closed out games for the Los Angeles Clippers, and he's left about maybe 3 or 4 games that he could have closed. Guys, listen to what I'm saying. So basically what I'm saying is this. If Kawhi Leonard was as clutch as he was with the Toronto Raptors, that means that the Clippers would have the best record in the NBA. How can you say that? Hold on a minute. The Clippers have the number 3 record in the league, right? They have the number 3 record in the league. The Utah Jazz have the best record in the NBA with 27 wins and 7 losses. So basically what that tells me is if Kawhi Leonard had helped them win 4 more games, close games, Clippers would have the best record in the NBA. So it kind of puts things into perspective about the Clippers when people start freaking out. So if they left like 4 or 5 games on the table that he could have closed, that means they would have the best record in the NBA. So the margin of error is what? So how can the Clippers be this bad when their best player is not as clutch as he used to, and still they have the 3rd best record in the NBA? That's what I think is remarkable. And that's why I said some people need to take a look at this thing from a macro level, right? But back to my overall point, I think he was more clutch with the Toronto Raptors that season. Now, is the jury out? No, because they still have this season to go. Last year, he was playing pretty well for them in the playoffs until that Game 7 where he just completely, fell apart. Had probably his worst playoff performance ever in that Game 7 when they needed him the most. He just wasn't himself. And maybe this year he'd be able to make up for it. But so far, I saw more clutch performances when he was with the Toronto Raptors. Now, can he recapture the magic again? Probably so, but it remains to be seen. But so far, that's what I saw. So what I want to know from you guys is, do you think that Kawhi Leonard was more clutch when he was with the Toronto Raptors? Number 1, and number 2, do you think he can kind of capture the same magic that he had and really gain his clutch legs? Again, whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to make sure you check out the next video that we have coming up on the channel. And don't forget to check out our Dreamerspro Max platform, which is linked in the description below. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day. Catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.